we did, you know, we get a few questions on it. So here it says just find the sine, cosine, and tangent of angle A. So for this, angle A is right here. So this would make this side that's 4. That's right across from it. That's my opposite. The 3 is right next to it. That's the adjacent. Let's try writing that again. I don't know what happened there. Okay, there we go. And then finally, the side that's 5, that's across from the right angle. So that makes it the hypotenuse. So sine, remember, is opposite over hypotenuse. So the sine of A is my opposite 4 over my hypotenuse of 5. So 4/5, that's just it. Nothing more to do there. The cosine, right sine, it's cosine. The cosine of A would be the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. So adjacent is 3, hypotenuse is 5, so 3/5. And then finally, tangent of A, that's going to be opposite over adjacent. So my opposite's 4, my adjacent's 3. If you wanted to make these answers decimals, I guess you could. I'm not going to complain too much about that, but they're very easy to read as fractions, and they tell me more as fractions as well. So like when I look at this as a fraction, and you'll get into this in later math classes, you may say, oh, I know the sine of A is 4/5, and then start to work backwards and start drawing this picture here. So that's why I like it a little better as a fraction, because it tells me a little more information actually, because I know, oh, my opposite side's 4, my hypotenuse is 5, where if it was 0.8, that would take me a little more thinking to get there. Any questions on this one? Okay. Let's look at the very last example. This is an example that we've covered all the skills to handle it, but we actually haven't done a problem like this. So we're going to pull together some skills and some knowledge that we learned. So we want to find the length of the unknown diagonal. I know that A to C, right here, that whole thing is 6. Now, do you guys remember what happens to the diagonals in a rhombus? How do they cross? The diagonals in a rhombus, what's special about how they cross? Oh, the diagonals. What's special about where they cross right here? They make an X. So look specifically at how they're crossing. They make a right angle. That is one of the facts we learned with the rhombus, that the diagonals cross at a right angle. Now, since this is a right angle, what I am going to do is I'm going to pull out a triangle to draw. So I need to figure out what D to B is. Right away, I'm going to look at this purple triangle here. I'm going to pull this out and redraw. So this side is 5. Now this purple side down here, if the whole thing A to C is 6, does anybody have a guess how long this purple side is? Yeah, it's 3. It's half of it because everything looks symmetrical here, right? So yeah, it's half. So that side, as Logan said, is 3. Now, this is where my drawing's really bad on this, because we're going to find out that this side here is actually the longer side. So my picture looks inaccurate to the reality of the numbers. But again, pictures are just rough sketches. So then I'm looking for this missing side X, right? Since it's a right triangle, we learned in our circles unit about the Pythagorean theorem. So again, it's a right triangle. We're going to utilize the Pythagorean theorem here. So remember, Pythagorean theorem says a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So actually, instead of calling this x, I'll change that up to an a, b, and c. So a squared plus 3 squared is equal to 5 squared. Okay? A squared plus 9 equals 25. Subtract 9, and my work's just going to come over here. We get a squared equals 16. Okay? Final step here, let's just take the square root of both sides. And we get a is 4. So that would mean this side's 4, along with this being 4. So I know D to B is equal to a length of 8. So yes, this took some skills we learned, but we learned all these skills this year, right? Did we put them all together at this point or before this point in class? No, we didn't. But every skill we did learn this year, and we're working on that this year. So that is it for the final review. If you have any questions on it, please let me know. You guys just had the rest of class to get done whatever you need to get done.